It is good to be here. Thank you, people of St. Michael and All Angels, for hosting us. Thank you, Bishop Sparks, for your partnership in the gospel and for hosting us as well as we live yet again into this call to common mission that we share. I continue to be grateful for your commitment to that relationship that we have in so many ways, and also grateful that we have some similar roots. I'm from Minnesota originally, and I joked with Bishop Sparks that he learned to get along with Lutherans during his time in Minnesota, where the Lutherans are quite dense. Thank you, brother. And thank you all for being here as sisters and brothers, siblings in Christ this Holy Week, as we bless oils and renew our commitments, receive laying on of hands, share the food of Christ, and are sent back out into the world to engage the ministries that God has given to us. The Lutherans among us will know that anytime I preach, I like to bring greetings along with me from the last community where I preached. The last community where I preached was Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Harlan, Indiana, not very far outside of Fort Wayne. Holy Trinity is recently without a called pastor, as their pastor moved to another congregation. And I was able to be with them on Palm Passion Sunday and share the meal and another meal with them and preach and preside. And when I was with them, I told them I was going to be here with you this morning and asked if I could bring their greetings along with me. And even though it's Lenten time, they still followed the Indiana-Kentucky Synod tradition around these greetings and didn't just nod their heads or say yes. They said with one voice, "Woohoo!" So, from your sisters and brothers gathered as Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Harlan, Indiana, greetings and woohoo in the name of Jesus. As far as I know, the next time I preach, I'll be with St. John Lutheran Church in Richmond, Indiana. St. John has made the decision to engage holy closure, and this will be their last service as a congregation, as they have gifted their building to a congregation from another tradition, and they will most likely be merging their membership with another ELCA congregation in Richmond. They've also chosen to celebrate their 175th anniversary in that same service. A sign, I think, of their trust in the promises of resurrection, that even from their dying, if you will, new life will arise as the legacy of the ministry that's been engaged there for 175 years will continue in other ways. I would love to bring your greetings to them when I'm with them on Sunday, a couple of weeks from now. May I do that? Woohoo! Well done. Thank you. I will bring your greetings. I do know that we have at least one congregation that when they bury the Alleluia during Lent, they also bury the woohoo. But I tend to carry it with me everywhere, so thank you very much. There's Moses, standing dead in his tracks, mouth agape, while the sheep he's been tending wander beyond his attention. The bush is burning, and it's not being consumed in the burning. And what's more, the bush is talking to him. And as if that were not enough, there in the wilderness, in the midst of a pretty good life that Moses has put together on the lam, there he stands, mouth agape, stone still, listening to the God of the universe speaking to him. The God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob speaks to Moses from a bush. And what's more, mouth agape, sheep wandering off, Moses hears this God sharing God's heart with him, revealing again who this God is and what is at this God's heart. It turns out that this is the God who sees the misery of human beings. This God, this one true God, is the one who hears their agonized cries. This is the God who knows intimately the suffering and oppression of this God's own creation. And Moses learns this God, this one true living God, is the one who comes down to do something about it, to deliver those who suffer, to set them free, to offer them new life. Is it any wonder, then, that Moses stands stock still, mouth agape, while his sheep wander off? God is afoot in the world. The God who sees and hears and knows and delivers. Centuries later, settled into our own lives on the lam, sometimes, like Moses, we are stopped dead in our tracks to see and hear this same God, this God who sees and knows and hears and delivers. Of course, we see this God most clearly on the cross and just outside an empty tomb. This is the God who sees the oppression and suffering of people that nobody else sees. We know it well from the way Jesus walked through the world. This is the God who hears the cries that fall on others' deaf ears. This is the God, we know it so well from that figure on the cross, who knows intimately the suffering and who carries it into the very heart of God. This is the God. We know it from the storytellers, who sees, and hears, and knows, and delivers in Jesus. Delivers from your suffering, your oppression, my suffering, and my oppression. Your struggles with whatever it is that binds you and holds you and the people around you. God, this God that we know in Jesus, crucified and risen, is the God who hears the cries, sees the suffering, knows it intimately, and comes to deliver it. And we are stopped in our tracks when the water and the word are poured over us, and we see and hear this God speaking to us as from a burning bush. Mouths agape, we taste it on our lips and feel it enter our being with a bit of bread and a sip of wine. And, wonder of wonders, even in the midst of our daily lives, going about our daily duties, whatever they might be, every once in a while, this God comes to stop us dead in our tracks and demand our full attention in the flesh of another human being. Someone who in an unexpected moment or unexpected way embodies for us and speaks to us of the God who sees and hears and knows and delivers us. Of course, Moses can't stand there forever. We've got sheep wandering off. He's got other things to do. But his attention is drawn again when the voice of this God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob speaks again. And this time, interestingly, Moses is able to get his mouth working to say something. So, this God says, through the bush, knowing that this is the kind of God that I am, come, and I will send you to Pharaoh to live out what I'm about to do. So come, Moses, God says, and I will send you to be one who sees and hears and knows and announces deliverance. And Moses utters in response, why me? Who am I that you should send me? And we see here at the burning bush where Jesus got his tendency to not answer the questions that people asked him. God simply responds to Moses' question by saying, I will be with you. I will be with you. As it turns out, this call, this sending, is not rooted in who Moses is or what he brings to the task. It's rooted in who God is for Moses and for the world and for those Moses is sent to serve. I will be with you. That's it. Except, did you notice that God says to Moses that he is sending Moses to Pharaoh? I think if I was writing this story, I would say that God is sending Moses to the people. But there is a prophetic edge to this pastoral ministry Moses is sent to engage. He is sent to speak also to the powers that hold God's people captive, to announce deliverance to them as well. And so Moses is sent to announce to Pharaoh and to the people that the people belong not to Pharaoh, but to the one true living God who sees and hears and knows and delivers. The only God who can do that. And this God has come to set them free. People of God, you and I are in a long procession of people who have heard that same word from that same God. Come, I will send you. Think about that long list of names that we heard in the reading from Mark. Simon, James, John, Andrew, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, Thaddeus, Simon, even Judas. And of course, we cannot and must not forget other names like Leah and Deborah and Martha and Mary and Dorcas and Phoebe and countless other names from different times and different cultures than those represented in that gospel text. People who are part of a long procession through the centuries to whom God has appeared in burning bushes of all kinds, simply saying, come, I will send you. And I will. I send you. Can there be a more important role today than that? To be sent by the God who sees and hears and knows and delivers. You and I, who have also heard and continue to hear this God speaking from the various burning bushes of our lives, you and I are entrusted with this amazing good news. But, like Moses, we are not sent share it until we've heard it ourselves. So, siblings in Christ, servants of the servants of God, come, God says, this day. Hear this word for you. Taste it. Feel it. Know that there is one true living God who sees your suffering in captivity, hears your cries, knows your suffering, and comes down to set you free. And then hear this burning bush say to you, so come, and I will send you, and I will be with you. And word has it that along the way, you will be reassured that you have been sent by the one true living God when you and the people with you